can't wait to quit this fucking podcast.
Hey, Alex, daylight coming, won't go home. Because Beetlejuice 2 is out, and Beetlejuice 1 was one of my most favorite movies as a child. It was the horror movie that I wasn't scared of, even though I watched the Jason movies and the Freddy Krueger movies and then couldn't sleep for like weeks after. But Beetlejuice was cool, man. It helped me grow to a young man.
Okay, well, welcome to Bass and Bruce, your weekly distraction from high quality podcast. You know who the fuck we are. I'm Alex. He's Paul. We got Will with us. Before we get into Will, our guest, just a reminder, head over to patreon.com/bassandbrews. If you'd like to support us, that's also your only way to access Last Call with Alex and Paul, the Patreon exclusive live show. And September, we do it the first Friday of every month. So earlier this month,
Alex is on vacation, and then we have to back it up to the third. But
so
when
we
I'm
did
on
our
vacation,
first.
we still do the first.
Well, that's, it is what it is. Some of us are stars, some of us are just supporting cast. But we did our first Win Paul's shit giveaway. Oh, fuck, I got to mail those out. Anyways, we did our first Win Paul's shit giveaway. All those crankbaits that I promised Paul over a year ago are now going out to you, the Patreon members. We spun this little wheel. We had a lot of fun. It was a good time. That's a good reminder, though. They got to go in the mail tomorrow.
Hey, and just so y'all know, when you do sign up for the Patreon account, it's a live show. You're in the comments commenting. We're posting comments. We're taking questions and talking about comments that are posted in there. It's interactive. It's not just a regular podcast like this. You're part of the show as
you
a
are
Patreon
the show,
member,
basically.
Yeah. As an executive producer, you're there. You're commenting, and we don't bring you on, but we do talk about the stuff you're in the comments talking about. So a lot more interactive.
And then we've had a little more activity on it lately. We got some more planned up. But if you want to join the Bass and Brews Discord server, hit me up on TikTok or Instagram or at bassandbrews@gmail.com. Also, that's where you can send your shitty podcast reviews. We haven't had any in a while. You fucking dirtbags are slacking. So remember, head over to Apple Podcasts, give a 5-star review, and then in the comments, be as mean as Apple will let you, because we will talk about it. We'll read the whole thing on here.
We'll read it out. You can be mean. You don't even have to be truthful. You can write the most untruthful review you've ever done. Just give us 5 stars. That's all.
What would be the most? Never mind. All right, Will, welcome to the show, bud.
Well, hold on. Time out now.
What?
Look at your name. We got to cover the journey.
Oh, we do have to talk about your fat ass journey. How are you doing this week?
I'm down officially 18 pounds. I'm below 260. We're at 257.
There we go.
18 pounds down. My goal,
because you were
by the end of the
13
year,
pounds last week. So that's 5 pounds.
No, I was 15.
Okay, so 3 pounds. All right.
Or something. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there. 14 or 15. I dropped a few. No, it might have been. I can't remember. I only weighed myself on Thursday morning, so I can
you should
talk
like
about
write it
or
down.
not talk about. No, I'm not going to write it down. But we're going good. I've got over the hump of being hungry. Now, when I'm hungry, I eat a little bit of my food, and then I'm not hungry, and then I eat again when I'm hungry, and we're kicking it down. The end goal is 60 pounds.
Yeah.
That's the end goal.
Maybe by next year.
30. By the end of the year, I wanted to be at 30. We're a little over that. We just got to keep plugging along. I got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. There's going to be tough times, but we're plugging along. I don't have an end date by the 60, but that is the end goal is 60 pounds. Maybe let's say July next year. That gives me a year to drop 60. If I can do it before, great. I'll eat a whole Aldi's pizza. The day that I hit 60,
What a peasant.
Oh my God. No, dude. The Aldi's thin crust meat lovers pizza in the refrigerator section. So it's a quote unquote fresh pizza.
That's gross.
I'm telling you right now, that you're in Jersey, right? Look,
gross,
I'm in North
we
Carolina.
have real pizza.
It is relative to where we are. But if you go to Aldi and get that pizza, Alex, even being in Jersey, I'm going to tell you, you're going to love it. It is absolutely
you know what?
delicious.
I might go out tomorrow and get it. We'll do a little video. Hey, I've been real mean to you about this whole thing. And I just want to say that I'm very supportive of you. And I actually found a couple tips online to help you out. I spent the bulk of last week kind of reflecting about how I've been kind of mean and rude about it. So I've got 2 tips. I talked to a lot of folks online. I scoured through a bunch of medical kind of papers, and I have 2 ways for you to help drop these LBs, buddy. Are you ready?
I can't wait to see them.
So number 1 is just straight up heroin. Just get really into heroin and do a whole shit ton of it. And then number 2, then number 2 is for you, and it's worked for models forever, but you can do the old pokey down your throat and throw that shit up. So I think those are the only ways you're ever going to hit this fucking goal ever is for you to get into black tar heroin or vomiting.
Thinking about throwing up makes me gag, so there's no way in hell I could ever make myself throw up.
Listen, I'm doing this for you.
Halfway there.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I'm going to start sending you send me cat videos all the time, Paul. I'm going to start sending you throw up videos, and you don't have to be a full bulimic, right? Just a little bit of throw up 20 times a day, I think will solve all the problems.
I mean, in all fairness, I've got your number too, so I'll probably send a couple.
There it is.
You know what? Y'all are going to start getting poop videos then.
Actually, in all fairness, we could just say his number on the podcast right now, and then everybody can send him vomit pictures.
That's fine. Look, there is a really, really neat function on the iPhone, and it's called Block You, Motherfucker.
You would never block me.
No, I couldn't block you. I mean, otherwise we would show up for this podcast on Thursday and have no idea what's going on.
Just be us.
Actually, that would be no different than what this podcast is now. Besides us having a guest, we have no idea what's going on until we show up and start recording. But we do have Will Collie here with us tonight, NPFL angler. He is also a social media content creator, and he's a fish head. He's a true angler. Where are you at, Will? Because you right before we went live, you were scarfing down some delicious Cajun sounding food.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now I'm at my sister's house, but I live in southern Middle Tennessee, kind of displaced right now in Alabama, but all my family is from Louisiana. So
southern Middle Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's only like 20 miles from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
There ain't many south and north ends in Tennessee. So where the hell is southern Middle Tennessee at? What town is that?
Culleoka.
Say that again.
Alex, spell it. Wait.
What?
Alex, spell Culleoka, and then I want Will to spell it properly.
Yeah, Culleoka.
Spell it.
COULIQUOKE.
That's actually it.
Yeah. No fucking way.
It. No, it's not even close.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
Culleoka,
I'm so excited.
C-U-L-L, like you're calling a fish.
Oh,
Culleoka. Culleoka.
God damn it.
How many people live in that town?
About 400.
What? That's smaller than the town I grew up in. You're the first person I've ever had on this podcast in a town smaller than mine.
I don't know if that's the actual count. I'm just making that up. But we don't have any stop signs. We don't have red lights. It's all just a big old conglomerate of country folk.
Well, the only reason we got a stoplight is because we have 2 main roads, and one of those main roads used to be the thoroughfare from damn near anybody coming from the Midwestern states to Myrtle Beach came through McBee. And so, yep, that's what it is.
Right on.
All right, great geography. No, I'm not froze. Just listening to your shitty geography talk.
Hey, you got that shitty, stupid hat on again today.
Yeah, I know. We
had one episode, and then it's dirty. It's nasty. The pee on it isn't even white anymore. It looks like
I know.
Anyway.
Well, it's because I got to go fishing 2 days in a row, so it's extra sweaty. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. All right, Paul, say your stupid intro.
Before we go there, why are you at your sister's? Are you practicing for a tournament? What you got coming up?
No, actually, like, we moved temporarily. We sold our house, and so right now we're staying in Alabama in a house.
Greenbow.
All my work is up here in Tennessee still. So
gotcha. So
What do you
really
do for
stuff you
work?
didn't want to talk about on the podcast, but Paul's a nosy bitch and got it involved.
Well, our guests want to know who our listeners want to know who our guest is. What do you do for work, Willie?
I own a construction company.
You own one.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
unfortunately,
you're a glutton
yes.
for punishment.
Yes.
You babysit grown ass men all
Every
day
day.
long.
Every day, yeah.
What kind of construction are you doing?
We do residential, so mainly new residential, but then some remodels and stuff. But
residential construction, boy, I tell you what, you have to love that to have a business doing it.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste for sure.
I was really hoping that when Paul asked what kind, that Will was going to be like sheds. I make nothing but she sheds. That's it. Fancy ass lady sheds. That's what I call my whole business.
Honestly, if you think about it, a custom home really is a she shed. I'll tell you right now.
You know what? Very true. Very true.
There is no worse person than the person you're building a home for. They can be the nicest people in the world until you start building their home. And then it doesn't matter. It can be the husband, the wife. It doesn't matter. When you start building their home, they turn into the meanest people you have ever met.
Yeah, it hurts.
It hurts.
So Will, you're an NPFL angler. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I can't remember. We've been connected. And I think Alex has been connected about the same time for a while. Fairly certain on TikTok or Instagram, one of those. So we've known you through social media for a while. But tell us what's your journey, your fishing journey that's brought you here to where you are today?
Gosh, man. I mean, just as early as I could remember, I was infatuated with fishing. My dad fished. I remember I used to go on the boat with him a little bit whenever I was like a real young child, but Mom didn't like to go so much, so she wouldn't let me go without her.
And Daddy didn't want to, because Daddy wasn't going to pay attention to your ass. Right, so he was fishing. I get it. Hey, I understand that.
So what would end up happening is like in the evening time, I would play in his boat like it was my play set, right? Like I wasn't going to go get on the swing. I'm going to go get in Dad's boat. And apparently I had been watching him, flipping, and I didn't know what, I didn't really know what he was doing, right? I'm little bitty. And I crawled up in his boat, and apparently I grabbed a crankbait and tried to flip that crankbait. I didn't know how to use a bait caster or anything, so I just lodged the crankbait directly into my hand.
Nice.
And, I guess you could say I've been hooked since.
I thought you were going to say you lobbed a jig and broke all his screens.
No, we didn't have screens back then.
He came outside and you had the trolling motor down and the batteries were dead, and he didn't know it until he took off for the lake the next day, and he gets out there and drops the trolling motor, and not shit works. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
so was it lodged enough that you had to do the line trick to pull it out, or was it just kind of in you?
Oh no, they took me to the emergency room.
Oh shit!
I had
screaming, crying,
just about every
or you
hook was in my palm.
Oh,
damn it, boy.
Yeah.
What crankbait was it?
Gosh, man. To be honest with you, it was I'll guarantee it was a bandit. I guarantee it was a bandit.
I was about a bandit or a Bagley.
Yeah, it was more than likely a bandit. That dude's bandit man. He's bandit man through and through.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been what, the late 90s.
It probably been probably mid 90s when that happened.
Mid late 90s. So yeah, it Bagley, Bandit, Norman. It's probably going to be one of those three if it was a crankbait. Especially where you were. This is Collie, Tennessee, right?
Yeah. However you want to call it. Yeah.
That's you know what?
No, we were in Middle Tennessee during that time.
Okay. Not the southern part of Middle Tennessee,
the
straight middle.
Right in the middle.
So what happened after that? Your dad was like, "Well, I'm gonna have to teach him how to, cast, so he doesn't keep fucking up my reels and hooking himself."
Actually, yes. And so much so that anytime that there was a casting kids event, we went and I would compete in all the casting kids events. Spent a lot of time practicing just casting, learning how to cast different types of casts with different rods and everything, just kind of learning different techniques. So then that way, whenever I went out on the water with him, he wouldn't have to turn the boat around and get me unstuck all the time.
Was he a
less of a
tournament
liability?
angler? Was he a tournament angler, or was he just a fun fishing
yes,
guy?
he was. He was a tournament angler. He didn't fish anything super high, but yeah, he was in the Tennessee area tournament fishing. So
Well, that makes sense, because there's tons of lakes right there. I mean,
Mhm.
and if you're in Middle Tennessee, you can get to west, you can get to the east, you can get all the Alabama lakes. So it makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
And so, how did you progress into doing tournaments?
So I think I was 12 or 13, and this was before high school fishing and college fishing and stuff. Like, we all were fishing Bass Nation, or well, really it was Federation Nation whenever we got started. But there wasn't a whole lot of trails that would really, allow a kid to fish. But we found a couple. So whenever I was 12, I started fishing a team trail with him. And then 13 years old, I started fishing a draw tournament. And did really well in the back of people's boats. And it kind of was like sparking my interest of, hey, maybe I could compete, if I keep learning and stuff, I can compete. And then as years went on, fishing more trails and stuff, it was kind of evident that I felt like I could go to any lake and catch fish. And so I was trying to figure out how you get sponsors and stuff, because at that time getting sponsors was a whole lot different than it is now. There was no jerseys. There was like 5 guys on the Elite Series with a wrap on their boat, and you're like, why do they have that on their boat? Is this NASCAR or something?
You were going to all the local tackle shops going, hey man, I tournament fish and I do good out the back of a boat. Will you sponsor? Like, yeah, here's $25 for some lures.
Yeah, they're like, here, we're going to give you 3 bags of bait. Good luck, buddy.
here's 3 bags of corporate worms. You have black and blue, you have motor oil, and you have the silver and black.
Oh, red shad.
Red
shad.
Yep. Red shad. It's we call it. It used to be. It used to be motor oil, I think, or moccasin was the gold and black one. So I'm in South Carolina.
Yeah.
The gold and black one, the black and silver one, and then you had the June bug. And there was one other that we fished, was like a black and blue type thing. I can't remember the name of it, but the old school curly tail culprit, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the only worm back in the day.
There was nothing else to fish with if you wanted to catch them. You had to have culprit worms.
That's right.
But yeah, I remember I guess probably I was at the age where I was trying to figure out if I was going to enroll in college. And at that time, they had just started college fishing. And there was like a handful of schools, and one of them was around here that were actually doing it. And so I was like, man, I'm thinking about it. And we're sitting on Kentucky Lake under New Johnsonville Bridge. And you really could not see, 20, 30 feet past the bridge. I think there was an FLW event going on at that time. So there's like 100 boats underneath the bridge. And Dad pointed to a guy that you could just barely see out in the rain. And he's like, hey, listen, if you do this, if you choose that this is the life you want to live, that's where your sponsors are going to expect you to be. Not underneath this bridge. They're going to be expecting you to be fishing. And I thought, I'm, getting close to 20. I'd rather go party. So I just went. Man, I was like, I'm done. I stopped, and then I started a family and everything. And then I was like, well, now I really can't go back if I wanted to. And then I got to a point where I got my boat. I got another boat and started fishing again. And
What year was that? All right. So what year was that where you started back? You got a boat and started back?
That would be like 3 years ago. I started back.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And, just started fishing, just kind of every now and then. And, once you get that itch back in there, you can't, and I went full bore into it, and then was lucky enough to get to a point where I met the ownership of the NPFL, and they were willing to let me, give it a try with them. And so here I am.
All right. One thing I'd like to say. So NPFL, if you're listening, we got to do something about the name. MLF, it just rolls off the tongue. FLW rolls off the tongue. Bassmaster, there's more, but it like NPFL is a mouthful. They got to shorten that thing down to 3 letters or come up with a cool catchphrase. The league. I think that's fucking awesome.
Ooh, the league.
The league.
Yeah.
That's what
you heard it. You heard it here first tonight, folks. If they change this shit to the league, they better give Will Collie and Bass and Brews.
Yeah. I mean, people might call it that, but that's what they need to advertise it as. Like the league.
And they do. They've got some of their advertisement shows up as the league.
Nice.
They'll put it out there as the league. There's hats and merch and stuff that's what it says. It has the shield and it says the league. So
they need to drop all the other shit and just go to the league.
Yeah, because
NPFL. Story
I'm
about
like,
the NPFL.
oh, shit. Yes.
Funny story about the NPFL. Our good buddy Drunkwood, John King, makes the trophies for them.
He does. Yep.
And so we've been tied into the NPFL through Mr. Drunkwood for a while, whose hat I'm wearing tonight because he really does make good woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
His work is phenomenal.
It is.
Absolutely
he is an
phenomenal.
asshole. But his work is great.
Do you know how he got so good at that? Is he had to make a lot of money because he's got 14 ex-wives, all named Ashley.
All named Ashley.
And yeah.
That's a lot of them. I don't think
it's a lot.
Would be great.
Listen, every time we have him on the show, I feel like I want to just block his number and just be divorced of him as well. So I can't believe that many agree to it. That dude must be packing a huge huge old wang. You know what I mean? Like.
Hey, if it hadn't been for Drunkwood a few episodes ago, I'm not sure what I would have done when Alex wasn't here and I got Drunkwood. And he said, I asked him who he was bringing on. He says, a surprise. I'm like, it's your podcast, buddy. And it ended up being one of my fishing heroes with Frank Scalish. And then we had Paul Benson on, had Jeremiah on, we had BTC on. It was a star-studded event on Bass and Brews that night. It was awesome.
Drunkwood always
me. I'm sorry,
dude. Drunkwood always provides. Like the last time we had him on the show, he was the first person to use a certain kind of relaxing sedative live on the show. Also, he played that really fun, and what's funny is that I have
the porno game.
Yeah, dude. So I keep like a notepad right next to me to like jot things down, and it's still on there of where he was like, he gave us 3 options, and we had to guess which was the real porn star's name, and he had like 10 of these, so he had like 30 names. We had to decipher the real porn stars out of it, and that was amazing. But he had pissed off his wife so bad. Because we were going to have this running gag about how he was getting a divorce and he was going to get real sad at the end to fuck with Paul. And we had set this thing up like a week ahead of time, but he had pissed her off so much because all she heard was one side of the conversation where he's just naming off female porn stars. Yeah. Cheers to you, Drunkwood, you piece of shit.
So all the NPFL trophies you see, our good buddy Drunkwood makes those, and they're awesome.
That's awesome.
He does a great job with them. It's pretty cool. So 3 years ago, you got back into this. You've got a decent following when it comes to fishing on social media. I'm assuming you kind of went into tournament fishing pretty quickly after that. On the social media side, was that just something that you enjoyed doing or you felt like you had to do?
Oh, honestly, it was one of my old employees was like, hey, you should get TikTok. And I was like, what is that, man? What is it? And he's like, man, this is a really cool app. You should get it. And so I get on there, and it was like I was like, man, I can't be on here.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about because Alex told me to get TikTok and I signed up as like a bunch of fucking teenage girls. When I got on the bippity boppity boop shit, I'm like, boo, same thing. I can't do this. And then about 6 months later, Alex was like, dude, our Bass and Brews TikTok is really doing good. You need to start doing. And so I finally got on there and I started scrolling through all that shit to kind of get really into fishing at this time. Same thing though. Alex told me to get on there. I was like, dude, I can't, I'm not sure if this is legal.
Yeah. Dude, they were doing that was like when that whole like,
it was when it was dances.
The red silhouette challenge thing and all that.
I was after that. I was after that.
I was like, man, I can't. My wife's not gonna be down with this. Man. I can't be
you know what? We should bring that back, but for fishing content. That red silhouette. We just some dude with a beer belly, just behind that little red silk. I think Paul. That's the move. I think you need to do that.
I don't even know what that is though. My introduction to TikTok was when the bippity boppity boo,
yep.
and they dropped it, and they went from like sweatpants and shit to this scantily clad wear that they were wearing.
We could do that too if you want to do that.
I'm down for a bippity boppity boot, but if you went fishing the last 2 days and if you didn't record,
I didn't record shit. I made the
magical
problem.
fishing release.
I didn't.
You're an asshole.
Oh, I did not do a wizard release. I know.
Wizard, yeah, I can't ever. I call it witchcraft. I can't even remember wizard. So
it's not witchcraft. It's fishcraft.
Yeah, but it's wizard.
Listen,
fishing.
I spent 9 years at Fishwarts with Harry Whopper Plopper, and I fucking didn't do that for no reason. You need to recognize my experience.
So you got into TikTok. You're like, I can't do this, and then what happened? Did you start following some fishing channels, and then you said to yourself, "Hey, man, yeah, I fish enough. I can make some content."
Yeah, so it was one of those things where somebody had to kind of tell me, hey, the way that this works is algorithms. And at that time, I did not understand at all what that meant.
You still don't pretend that you do.
But
Let's be real. Every angler that knows an algorithm is lying to you. Them bitches can't spell algorithm, more or less understand one.
ILLGO.
No. Rhythm.
ILL.
Algorithm. Anyway.
Algorithm.
So somebody told me, it was like, look, just like don't stop on any of those videos, just stop on content that you like. And I was like, okay. And I started doing that, and
TikTok instantly became not as fun. You were like, man, but I like that other shit.
I kind of like to see some boobies every now and again. How do I get some of those back?
Now, so, whatever.
I'm tired of watching Alex catch crappie. How do I get some boobies and Alex catching crappie?
Yeah.
I need both.
I'll tell you, I thought TikTok was bad. When I logged on to Clapper for the first time, I was like,
bitch, what did you think something named Clapper was going to get you? I've never been on Clapper, so I don't know. But
dude, that
sounds
was
like
last year?
sounds like the Pornhub of social media.
It really is. I think it was like last year. There is a Bass and Brews account over there because we thought that like TikTok was going to get banned and all that shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I started scrolling through, I was like, fuck. Like, one, there was some good hunting shit over there, but then they took the like uncensored through the roof. So it was like, watch me tie this deer's asshole into a balloon knot and pull its guts out. And then you'd be like, that's a lot. Let me scroll up. And then it's just like some chick just getting railed. And it's like, holy cow, there's two sides of this coin here. That app is wild.
So you saw that for a few months, Alex, and was like, Bass and Brews ain't going to make it on this platform.
Listen, we have some dark material over there. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. It involves me and a pick roll. There was blood. It was all a whole thing. But it involves both of those, getting railed and killing something. So look at Will's face. Just joking. We don't fornicate with animals here.
He's trying to shovel down his sister's cooking in between us talking.
Yeah.
So Clapper you went over to Clapper. That shit didn't work out.
Well, So I do. All right. So I do have a Clapper account, and it's got like, I don't know, close to 1,000 followers, but it's extremely hard over there.
So
it is. Yeah, it is.
You know, that's what I'm saying, right? So I found out that there is a setting on there where you can disable showing not safe for work content. So it makes it a lot more cleaner. And then you have more, of the content that you're related to.
Who the fuck would want to take away the not safe for work content?
Come on. Nobody's finding that setting.
Do you and your wife have a shared Clapper account like Will and Holly at clapper.com? Do y'all have a shared account?
Did you just say if Will and his wife have the clap? Is that what you just said?
No, I did not.
Clapper.
You're missing
words. Sounds like that sometime.
Hey-oh.
Hey, we got 3 kids, 1 on the way. I'm telling you.
There you go.
1 on the way. 4 children. And you're in construction, your wife must be a fucking saint. And you travel to fish. Your wife is a saint. You have married probably one of the greatest women in Tennessee.
Not one of. She is the.
I thought he was going to say, not one of.
Man,
one of 100.
She my crap so much. I can leave. I can be like, hey, listen, I'm going fishing for a week. I did this last year. I said, hey, listen, I'm going to go up north for a week. Okay.
When you get home and you didn't win any
ass.
money,
she's just
like,
done with
you're not going to be doing this anymore if you don't start winning.
No, because she's like, as long as they can still, as long as she can buy stuff and she can, get stuff for the kids and she's not worrying about having to eat, if there's food on the table, she don't care what I do.
Does she help you manage your construction business?
Mm-mm. She's got her hands full with those 3 boys at our house. I'll tell you.
I'm about to say, Will,
you need to take them 3 boys, and your wife needs to be your project manager, and I guarantee you'll start building houses twice as fast.
Probably.
Now, you're gonna have to hire some people. You're gonna have to hire some people that can put up with that shit. But if you hire the right ones and they stay, man, you'll be killing it.
Yeah, Will, hire me. I'll be a stay-home. I'll be a stay-at-home man, wife. Just make sure I'm fed. I can buy the shit I want. I got you, bud. I mean, we ain't gonna have no babies together, but
But you've got 3 boys and 1 on the way that you're gonna have to tend to. That means shitty diapers, feeding, cleaning.
How are you gonna feed my baby?
Listen, it's 2024. I'll make it happen.
You're gonna hire somebody. You're gonna hire a nanny.
Are those gonna work?
Work?
Greg, I have nipples. Can you milk me? All right, so you made this push to the league. You said they were. So how did that process actually happen?
Yeah. How do you go from fishing 3
Thanks,
years ago into NPFL? Look, that's a great question, Alex, and
I know.
I'm a little
on
taken
fire.
aback by
I'm on
that.
fire
Should have
this
been
month.
my question. That should have been my question. So,
but you fucked up the whole segue, you piece of shit.
Nope. I'm
didn't.
taking it over because that should have been my question. That I probably wasn't. I was going to ask that, but I got to take it over because it was a really good one. That's a question that would have come from me. So I got to take my shine back, Alex. Anyway,
up,
Willie,
fat piece of shit.
Answer Alex's question because this is way better than my.
That was like 5 minutes ago. I don't even remember the question.
Whoa, motherfucker! Shit! What the fuck? Look, I'm part of this podcast too. You ain't got to talk to me. I'm the one that got you on here.
All right. So last year, me and another guy, we started gorilla fishing. It was a online tackle shop that is spelt like guerrilla warfare, right? Mm-hmm. So basically G-U-E. The idea behind it was it's nothing but small businesses. Everything that we sold on there was going to be a small business. And so it was basically, like the small army going against the big army of the 3 companies that own bass fishing. So what we were trying to do was to have a place where you can get all these small companies all in one stop. So you didn't have to go to this person's website and order this, and go to this person's website and order this, pay all this shipping and stuff. You can just all get it in one place, pay one shipping, and you're good to go. So started that, had a few anglers promoting the brand in the NPFL last year. All stayed together in the same house and everything. We're trying to make a push to make a big thing with that. And so I was at every tournament, hanging out, helping out with the league, helping them, if they needed somebody carrying fish from the stage to the release boat or whatever, anything I could do, I was helping out, and just, was just real close in with them. And so then they kind of said, hey, look, man, if you want to try it and you want to fish next year, we'd love to have you. You fit in with what we're trying to create here. And so, I accepted that opportunity, and, have gone out there.
Was the league, because that's all I'm going to call it again for now on, because fuck NPFL.
I agree.
I mean, don't fuck the organization. I mean, if you want to have sex with them, that's fine. But I hate it. Doesn't roll right, right? Anyways, the league, is that an invitation only deal?
No, I wouldn't say it's an invitation only. You can put in applications and stuff, but I will say that, I mean, what they are building has more to do with the culture of the actual league than what your name is. Because I'll tell you, you might have one of the biggest names in bass fishing, but if you don't fit the mold for like the way that we connect with each other, the way that we've built this community, they're probably not going to let you in.
So what's the, like, how many are on the roster right now? Are we looking at a little over 100, less?
Yeah, over 100.
Okay. And are they looking to expand that number, or do they want to lock it in? Just kind of like a comparison to like Bassmaster and MLF, how they kind of have a locked in elite or pro tour side.
I think it's probably going to stay around the same size.
Okay.
Just it's easier to manage for them, I believe.
Yeah.
That's not insider information or anything.
Sure.
I don't really know. I would just assume they probably like it about where it's at.
And then, so obviously this is a new league that has come out, right? It's newish.
3 years old. 3 years old.
Right.
4. Sorry.
Would you fishing it? Yeah. You said you guys have a different culture, but would you think, because I've heard online other things like this is where people who can't make it go. What are your, like, I mean, like an honest kind of opinion? Do you think that's what it is, or is this something like separate from those big two?
No, I mean, it's you could take a lot of these guys, and you see there's a lot of Elite Series guys and a lot of BPT guys now. There's hammers in this league that you may not know, and they may not have. Listen, so with bass fishing, it's so expensive, right? Like it's so expensive. Even if you have sponsors, you got cash rolling in from all of these companies, it's still super expensive. So when you look at somebody and you go, well, I want to know what their BFL record is. Well, I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of guys that are great fishermen, great fish women, that do not fish those because monetarily you're in a lose-lose situation. You can go win that derb, but you're probably going to spend more money to fish it than you'll make winning it. So there's a lot of people that don't put their stock in that because it's just a big waste of money. Unless you've just got rolls and rolls of money coming in, it's not a real good situation.
Even when you win in these, the touring professionals is what I like to call it, and it's the big three and the leagues in there. The touring professionals, right? And then you obviously have the minor leagues of that where there's folks fishing those. But the touring professionals, even if you win, like you're still pinching pennies and floating money from tournament to tournament. It is, if you don't have the sponsorships, it's tough. I mean, Kevin Van Dam, regarded as the greatest angler that we've had up until this time, has only won like $9 million or something, somewhere in
What a
there,
bitch.
give or take $1 million.
What a loser.
And you know, of course, now everybody's, well, he's got his sponsors. Was yeah, but you're talking about the greatest angler that has ever lived to this point, that has won around $10 million in winnings.
Hey,
So there are the punter for an NFL team is making that. I mean, come on, man. It's
course you
the
went to
only
punter.
quote unquote professional sport where you pay to play.
mm-hmm.
I mean, the Olympics has some sports in there, but we're not talking about that.
Golf.
Bullshit. We're talking
Golf
about
would be the closest.
No,
and
bitch,
we've talked
that-
about that before.
shit. No, not when it comes to professional sports and what they
Yeah,
what they
golf
have
would
to
be
do
the
to-
closest.
Yeah,
yeah,
I would
but
say,
those
I would say
bitches are
golf.
still making
Golf.
millions. Even the
Yeah.
bad people are making more than Kevin Van Dam.
Well, no, okay. Paul's right, because back in the old days, yes, it is exactly like how fishing is now, right? Like if you went through Q school, you got qualified to do the PGA Tour, right? You went up, and it was still based on sponsorships and money. Now, PGA is a lot better to where no matter what, they're getting paid 6 figures, right? But they still have to pay for their own travel. They have to pay. They don't have entry fees, but you're still like, there's not very many sports out there where you're playing not for a trophy, not for a belt or whatever. You're playing for hard-earned cash, right? There's very few, like the Super Bowl. They don't get they get the trophy, right? But they're not like, and you get $15 million. Now maybe they are, but you know what I mean? That's not on the line. Golf and bass fishing are so similar in that aspect.
Yeah, but the biggest difference in golf is golf is a much more available and inclusive sport that more people play it. So the sponsorship opportunities, that pie,
well, that's
as Joe
that's
La Barbera has talked about before, that pie is much bigger in fishing.
yeah.
And you know, we've talked about this. We don't really need to get into this too much, but the content creators have taken such a chunk of the professional fishing pie away in money that, you know, if you're a professional angler and you don't have some kind of social media platform of, you know, a couple 10,000 people, you're not. People are going to not think about sponsoring you versus unless you're winning, unless you're a name. But if you don't have that name, I mean, you got to have a little bit of platform there.
I mean, if you look at names that got, so like Milliken, huge this year on Bassmaster. The guy can fish, but he's got a huge, epically huge social media following. That's why he's there. But I would beg to argue that I bet you Polinick makes more off of YouTube than he does off sponsorships, because his videos are well put together. They get millions and millions of views. He, I think, is somebody who is on the tour already, who adapted to the social media side extremely well. His content is top notch. It's awesome. Milinick's great too. Jacoby's does his thing. He's great too. But yeah, I think it's something that's absolutely needed in today's kind of platform. So do you see that on the league? Are all these guys, are they tied into social media as well, or no?
Yeah, I would say a vast majority of them are definitely. And the ones that don't have a great following, I don't think that it's a lack of them posting things. They might not be posting the right things at the right time.
Sure.
There's a lot that goes into actually getting followers and stuff too.
Hey, I got a question. So you're in the league. You're a touring professional with the league. You've been around fishing for a while. Do you see folks that post a lot of social media content? Are they performing better in tournaments than some of the people that aren't? Do you get what I'm saying, right? So if you've got a guy that's posting social media content, are they typically performing in the top half of one of the big tournaments? Or in the people that maybe don't post the content, are they a little bit behind? Do you see any kind of correlation with content and folks performing well?
I don't necessarily. it's kind of a mixed bag there. It's kind of a mixed bag because there's a lot of guys that are like they're doing a lot of social media and they catch them. And there's some that don't do any social media and don't catch them. There's some that don't do social media and absolutely catch them. And you'll never know what they're doing because they don't want you to know what they're doing.
So nothing sticks out to you with the social media versus the people who do well in tournaments. There's nothing that kind of sticks out for you on that.
Not necessarily, but I will say the ones that do social media, most of the ones that do social media definitely have. It seems to me, and this is probably why they do it, is they definitely have the bigger names for sponsors. They probably have a little bit more sponsor dollars coming in, but also that means that they're probably a true professional. They're truly their profession is to fish, and so they've got money coming in to fish, and that's all. It's that's all they make money from is from fishing.
They probably have a camera guy that's filming and editing.
Exactly.
They build it enough that they're not doing that all by themselves. And I think that's a big part of it because fishing content to edit that, if you go out for practice or a tournament, and if you record all of it and you're recording 2 camera angles, that's 20 hours of content that you have to go through to edit and get it out there and get it into a product that people want to watch. And when you've got somebody that is not a professional angler, that's not trying to put food on the table to do that all they have to do is go out there and catch 3 fish and create a beautiful video. That's a good point. I mean, I think you see these folks that have done really good with social media were able to pay people to help create the content.
Sure.
Because our content sucks. But we've had a lot of people on here that make really good content. They do it all themselves, and they're not professional anglers in the least. They're bank anglers or kayak anglers and stuff like that. But having somebody to be able to run that side of your business, and that's what you have to look at it as a business. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. I want to go back to, so how do you guys feel? Well, I know we already covered that, didn't we? Shit.
I don't know. You didn't ask the question, so we don't know.
Well, I want to know, okay, so are you guys pushed to push the league more? Because again, when you guys came in, you're kind of that redheaded stepchild who is trying to kind of push out what's already established, right? And MLF thought they were being these punk rock kids coming in, we're going to do things different, right? And really, they just ended up like Green Day, some pop bullshit, not really changing anything. All you did was become more of the establishment, right? But the league, on the other hand, and I'll be honest with everybody here, you guys know how I feel about tournament fishing. It's not my thing, but I did a little bit of digging around the last couple days, and I do kind of like what the league's doing. It reminds me more of kayak trails. It reminds me of you guys are building this community, this background of this is supposed to be the every person sport. And we've kind of it's not that anymore. It's how rich is my daddy so I can fish these huge tournaments. And you guys are not having that. And I think it's a great thing, right? So is the league, do they kind of, give you guys a little nudge to help kind of send out the message a little bit more?
No.
See, that's even fucking better that they don't do that. They're if you love it, do it. If not, that's perfect.
Yeah, they're not pushing us to say anything or do anything different. They're just asking for us to support them. And even I'll say this because there's been a lot of anglers that have said things that are in the league, and there's been a lot of them kind of retract what they said because it was more of a knee-jerk reaction. But most of the people that are fishing this league support this league. It's unreal how much they care about us as anglers. I'm telling you, the last day of Saginaw, I was already having a terrible tournament, and I was just man, I'm what? I was kind of out of it. But my phones, for whatever reason, my phones wouldn't charge. Okay.
Damn.
So I wake up that morning on the last day.
Hold on. Time out. If you guys, behind the curtain here, Will tried to blame us. If you guys listen to last week's episode, Dave the intern's fucking laptop blew up at the last half of the show. And then Will said that his laptop is not working, hence why he's on his daughter's. He doesn't even have a daughter. It's some random daughter's iPad.
It's his sister's daughter's iPad.
Yeah.
It's a non-working laptop.
Yeah, so
it worked before he tried to sign on, though.
Hold on, though, but also your phones didn't work. We weren't on that one, so I think that problem is you, because we did talk about
that one's the phones are on me.
All right, because we did talk about maybe the curse of Bass and Brews, where people don't do well after they've been on the show. We were like, oh shit, that might be broken because people have been doing well, right?
Yeah.
But we were like,
Snyder's
shit,
broke that curse.
But we were like, maybe
because I've got a derb coming up. I'm leaving next week.
Oh, you're going to be
you
solid.
better buy a
but
new
guess
computer
what?
because your computer's going to fuck everything up that you need.
Also, all your electronics might catch on fire. That's just how
That's fine. We're fishing St. John's River. I'm not going to use them anyway.
Fuck that. All right. Yeah. All right. So you're on the side and you broke all your phones somehow. Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
So you're recording your video through phones, no GoPros, no DJIs. It's all on a phone? Or are you talking about your phone that you're trying to communicate with?
Yeah, just my
Yes.
phone.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
So the last day, I wake up and I look at the windows, and it's light outside.
Oh shit.
And I was like, how fitting is this? This is just like, I was about to just go home. I was like, whatever, they won't miss me. Like, I've done terrible.
Will's the only one that just skips a tournament. He's like, he's playing hooky. He said, "Fuck
Alex,
English."
you said earlier the league reminds you of a kayak tournament. That's kayak anglers right there. They wake up on day 2, hungover, a little drunk still.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Will was this, but they wake up late and they're like, fuck this shit. I'm just going home. That's kayak tournament anglers.
They could be leading into day 2, and they will be like, no, I'm not feeling it. I got the runs. I ate some uncooked sausage that Paul made for me. I'm out of here.
Man,
but I'm assuming Will woke up late and thought about going home and then went out and fished, though. So finish your story, Will.
I did, yeah. So I was like, man, because I still couldn't get my phones to charge. So I'm like trying to get everything ready, and I run out to the truck, and I was like, man, there's a charger out in the floorboard in there. I tried it on one of my phones. It wouldn't charge. Tried it on my other phone.
Here's your cable,
there was like
wasn't
a little
it?
bit of life. And I was like, okay, that one's going to charge. So I run back in. I'm kind of getting stuff ready and all that. And I go out. My phone comes on. And I hit up Brad Fuller, the owner. And I was like, dude, can I still fish today? Like, am I allowed to still go out? Like, I've never done this before. I don't know what this is like. It's 8:30 in the morning.
Oh
I've already wasted half of my
like 2
day.
hours away.
I'm like, can I? He's like, dude, come on. I'll meet you at the ramp. I'll help you put in and everything. I'll check your live wells.
Oh, that's cool as shit.
Go.
Nice.
And I was like, man, see, that right there
That's cool
that's different. You know, that's something cool.
I wish they had coverage of the blast off, and they're like, Will,
where the fuck's Will?
Number 5, Will. Nope, don't see him.
They did that too. And I had a bunch of people that saw me out on the lake, and they're like, man, I thought you went home.
Hey, we hear a lot about, in bass, when MLF first started, the big thing was the anglers or part owners, they were going to have a say in what happened, and that. And that was there was a exodus out of bass when that happened, because the bass didn't take feed. The thing was, they didn't take feedback from the anglers. MLF started as angler centric, taking feedback. They were owners, and it seems like that's kind of tapered back a little bit. For the league, do y'all have a voice and this will lead into the forward-facing sonar aspect of it that they just announced.
Oh,
but do
let's
y'all
not do
have
that.
a?
Let's
We're
not do
not.
that.
We're not going to dive into.
We're not going to talk
we're,
about
we're an hour
forward-facing.
in. We're not going to
Yeah.
do forward-facing the whole time, but we
No.
got to touch on it because
We can
it's a
talk
big
if you
deal with
want
the
to. I really
leagues.
don't care.
But
No, I don't want to
does
talk
the-
about it. It's on every fucking podcast, every video. Like, I'm fucking done
but
with
this is
forward
Bass and
facing.
Bruce out of it. But anyway, it doesn't
Ugh.
matter. I'm trying to make a point here, Alex, and ask a question. So shut the fuck up. Does the league
No.
when they make a change for 2025 or anything, do they elicit y'all's input, information? Is it something that they take to heart? Do y'all have a say in kind of how the next from year to year goes with rules and what they're thinking?
They hear us enough. All right.
Okay.
They're a business. We're not owners of the league. We're not.
Okay.
It's not.
You're not stakeholders.
No. What
Right.
what they do with the league is their business decision. If we agree with it, great. If we don't,
But do they ask for feedback from y'all?
they do. They do give us the opportunity to, and it's an open communication line at all times. I could right now. I could probably call Brad. Brad would probably answer, and I could say, "Hey, man, this is how I feel about this or that."
Call him right now and ask him how he feels about if he'd like to fuck Bigfoot, Loch Ness, or aliens.
I mean, I might not get to fish in the next one, but I'll ask him.
I get it though. So you guys get an input, but as a whole, they're running it kind of like Bass, where like we'll listen, but at the end of the day, it's not. I mean, you guys are putting money in to fish these tournaments, right? But you're not in putting the money in to float the whole league.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, they listened to us enough. I mean,
Good.
They were going to make a decision earlier, and they said, "Listen, we want to give you the opportunity to speak." And we had a meeting, and before the meeting even started, it was told to us, "Hey, listen, we pretty much have our mind set, okay? But we're willing to hear you guys out, just in case there's something that we haven't thought about, something that we haven't considered."
That's so transparent.
And something that might just make me think, wait, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
And I sat back there in the meeting and I watched, I listened to everybody, and I tell you this is what impressed me. And when people say, "Oh, well, they already had their mind made up, they weren't going to change their mind," I barely saw the faces that were sitting at that table because they were writing down notes the entire time that everybody was talking. They were writing down notes, and they were actually listening and taking notes on what people were saying. And that impressed me a lot because they didn't have to, if they did this whole meeting as just
and just sat back like this.
Yeah, and just sat there and looked at people,
Sure.
That'd be different. But they actually were listening, and they were considering the things that people were saying.
That's good. Hey, breaking news, actually, and Will, you don't even know this, but I know Brad very well. I know the meeting you're talking about. So the league, NPFL, is now allowing an age bracket between 2 and 8-year-olds to be able to compete on the league. So it's going to be called the Baby Boomer Division. It's going to be nothing but kids in diapers shucking fucking crankbaits. So it's a whole new avenue.
I will have 3 entered into that.
I heard that you were the biggest proponent of this, is that you were really trying to push how because those like I don't know how old your kids are, right? But back in the day, not too long ago, parents were like having their kids open up toys on YouTube just so they can make a shit ton of money on them. So this is the new way for bass fishing to make money off their kids, is they're just going to force
my children.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it's like
that's
the local
coming
team
next year.
It's like the local team trails where old boy brings their son or daughter 10, 12, 13 years old and puts them in the back of the boat and gives them a Ned rig or a damn Carolina rig, and they catch 1 or 2 fish, and it might be the difference. That's
I think. And in all seriousness, no.
That kid. You leave that kid alone.
I meant to bring that up earlier with your
yes.
dad fishing, but like, did y'all fish team tournaments and your dad gave you a lure and said, "You just throw this the whole time, and you throw it where I tell you to. And if you catch 1 or 2 fish, it might be the difference in us going home empty-handed or your mama getting me some tonight.
Dude, so I think that was probably the most irritating part for him was I wasn't about to do that. I knew more than him, right? Like
I knew more than him.
But like that's just like if you got that mindset, like you've got to have that mindset, like if you're an entrepreneur or anything like that, like your mind is you know things, right? So dude, I would like tie on the wildest stuff. And
he's throwing the banjo minnow.
He's so aggravated, man. He's like, what in the world?
Hey, and don't let you catch a fucking fish because he'll never hear the end of it.
Ow.
I think,
and now you're about to have that with your children.
I can't wait.
I already do.
I can't
bet
wait.
You do with 3 boys. God,
my 7-year-old. I'm telling you, anytime I say, "Hey, listen, son, you need to do it like this," and he's like, "Really, Dad? You think so?" I'm like,
that's not what Jacob Wheeler said. Jacob Wheeler said, with this water clarity and the wind and this time of year, I need to be throwing a frog. So I'm throwing a frog.
And then to update though, like again, this is going to be safe. The league really puts a lot of work into safety. So all play pens will have to have at least 4 PFDs attached to them, just in case there's a high-speed ejection. So, again, really looking forward to that from the NPFL, the Baby Boomer League. Very, very cool, though, what you're talking about. I think when Paul mentioned about how MLF was going to, like, change the industry with doing this, like, angler-owned input thing, and I honestly think that became a failure because at the end of the day, the people that own the league, it's not that, but it's not that for a reason because at the end of the day, the angler's out there to make money and the league is also there, right? But if you're a part owner, you could always just leave and then the league's just shafted, right? But what MLF did, and MLF, I really think, changed the landscape in fishing for 2 reasons. One, it showed that Jacoby Wheeler's a little bitch who only catches 1-pound fish, so he can fuck off. But then 2, the best thing that MLF did was give competition to Bass and other organizations to be better, right? To have better coverage of their events, to treat their anglers better, to take input from not just the anglers, even their fans of like, this is what we want to see. We want to see more of this. Before, Bass was blind to that, and nobody thought that we could have another player in this whole kind of scenery that we have coming out. And the league is making a name for themselves to, instead of like trying to notch themselves at the kids' table, it's to fucking barrel in and make them make a seat for themselves at the fucking table, not the side table, the actual table. And I think it's cool MLF did that. Too bad they fumbled it and fucked it up. But like everybody else is better off it. So thanks, Boyd.
Competition is good for the consumer.
Yes.
And when you have competition, that makes the old school, the old heads in that industry have to start to adapt and have to start to innovate.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same. It goes economics is when you have a bunch of fast food joints who are competing for your $5. They have to do. That's why we got the $1 menus, and that's why we got the 2-for-1s and the shit for like that. So
hey, I'll do a warning here.
Good.
Don't take any advice from Bass and Brews. Let's just be clear. Paul's not an economics major or a specialist.
I do own a business though.
Yeah, but not like a successful one like Will.
Excuse me? I just paid for a whole year's worth of StreamYard in one paycheck. So
Paul,
time out. We're not just gonna let him breeze past that mine is successful.
Bitch, you are fishing.
I never said it was successful.
You're traveling once a month at minimum to go fish in the NPFL, a touring professional angler. It's got to be successful
he's fishing
enough
in the league.
Listen, I do have cash sponsors to fish the league. If I didn't, there is no way.
How did you
listen? I'll tell you this. So this is a side of professional professional bass fishing that you don't see, right? So, like me, I've got a construction company, right?
She sheds.
We build she sheds by the seashore. So
with glass walls.
Like this is like Debbie Downer type stuff right here. But
okay.
For the past 2.5, 3 months, I didn't know where my next meal was coming from.
Yeah.
All right. We were borrowing money from anybody and everybody we could just to put groceries on the table. Had some stuff happen with my company that was not great. And, I didn't know that I would go to any of these, the last 2 tournaments, specifically the last tournament. I contacted the ownership and I said, listen, I'm going to be late on my entry fee. I will have it paid before the tournament starts. I probably will not be able to come up there and fish. I'll have the entry fee paid, but I don't think I'll be able to fish. And I really didn't. Had somebody that, put me up in the Airbnb, paid for my fuel, made sure I got out there, made sure I had fuel and food during the tournament. It was bad, man. Now it's a little bit better. We've actually got some stuff going on that we're getting paid for, which is good. But man, I'll tell you, it's if it wasn't for the sponsors and my Bass Cash, dude, I would not have been able to compete in at least 2 of these events so far this season.
Explain the Bass Cash. What is that? Explain it, what it is, and how you're able to acquire that.
He sells his ass for cash, Paul. Oh, wait, you said bass or ass? I couldn't remember which one.
He's on the not safe for work clapper. He's on the not safe for work clapper.
I mean,
you can find him on Clapper.
Whenever you can let them like run their hair.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, you can find Will. Mullet. You can find Will on Clapper at The Real Uncle Rico. That's where you'll find him.
Clapper After Dark. But...
What is Bass Cash and how do you get it? Like, explain what that is.
So it's interesting, and it's not always the way that you'll think that you'll get it, right? It's not, hey, I'm going to be fishing professionally on this level. Rapala, why don't you send me 20,000? Non-endemic sponsors are like the number one way, because in all fairness, the fishing industry, like all of the fishing companies, dude, they're tapped out. Yep. They don't have money to give you.
They're giving what money they had to give to Jim Bob over here fishing off the bank because he has 250,000 followers on YouTube. And if he catches a 1 pound bass on, Jim Bob's special, they're going to sell the shit out of Jim Bob's specials.
Yeah. Well, it's that, and it's, the thing that they can offer you is baits, right? They can offer you stuff for your boat.
That shit don't pay for gas.
It doesn't pay entry fees, doesn't pay gas, doesn't do oil changes, maintenance on your boat. None of that happens, right? So you make deals with your local tire shop, and they'll give you an in-kind, offer. Like they say, hey, listen, you got $2,500 this year allowance from us. So if you need tires, you can come over here and get tires, not to exceed $2,000 worth. Or, so if you get a couple flats or something, you get new tires on your truck, you get a couple flats on the boat, that might reach your 2,000, but you've got a couple flats that you don't have to pay for.
What are those kind of sponsors looking for from you, though? Those, when you're talking about a local non-endemic sponsor, a tire shop, or something.
He's like Uncle Willie here, and I love my
Uncle
tires
Willie's
the best.
tire
you know
shop.
Which one I like? Do you know what tire shop really blows my mullet back? I'll tell you what right now.
I say, y'all better get on down there and get you some of them robbers. There's only one tire shop in town, man.
So everybody's already
they already got to go to it. They're like, I'm tired of seeing it. We have nowhere else to go, Will.
Yeah.
We get it. Gee.
Yeah. So Uncle Big Willie's Tire Shop is the only tire shop in town. They give you $2,000 of tires or maintenance or whatever, right? But what does a tire shop in the town where there's only one tire shop, they're good. Everybody's going there already. What is that sponsor looking for from you? Is it more of them just helping you because you're a local guy, your hometown, and if you put out a post about them or two, like they just enjoy that side of it? Or are they looking for something that changes their revenue, that gives them money?
It's kind of a mixture of both. They want you to do some advertising,
Sure.
right? They want you to make posts and get people to acknowledge who they are and what they do. But man, and this goes for any profession. This goes for just life in general. Relationships are like the best thing that you can have ever, right? So if you can build a relationship with the company, if they value you as much as you value them, and y'all are both on the same level and like respect each other a bunch, you're gonna get, you're gonna have a leg up on being able to have that conversation with them and say, hey, listen, I'm chasing my dreams this year. And some of them are like, man, they like you so much. They're like, man, I want you to do that. Like, I want to see you do that. I had one of my sponsors this year, his only stipulation, he did not care if I advertised, did not care if I made a single social media post about his company. He said, I want you to take a kid fishing, and I want you to really spend time with them and show them the love that you have for fishing. I want you to show that to them so that maybe they'll have that love for fishing too. And so that's, that was my goal for the year, and did it several times. And that's something that I would do anyway. And he knew that. So, it's stuff like that where, man, if you can get in with local companies and stuff, or sometimes nationwide type companies, I'll plug one right now, Summertown Metals. They've been very good to me with my construction company. We've helped each other out a ton throughout the years. And whenever I approach them and say, hey, listen, man, I'm going to make a run at this thing. I'll advertise for you guys, whatever. They were in, they're like, yeah, we're in. We're going to, hook you up and get you a cash deal, and we're going to move on with it.
See, that shit right there. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
Yeah. So one, Will, it was not
What's
the
up,
time
brother?
for you. Yeah. What's up, brother? Hey, it was not the time for you to shill to your sponsors.
I did not have sexual relations with that man.
What?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yes, I did. I think this is awesome for everybody, this conversation, because I think everybody has this eye in the sky idea of, listen, if I could just have a little bit of money, I could be just like any of these other anglers. And I think what you're showing is, one, it's not such an easy road as people make it out to be, right? Or what they think, right? Like, it takes a lot of financial risk for this to happen. And I don't think people, one, are prepared for that. And then the other end of it, we don't have, this isn't like 5-6 years ago where the internet's brand new. Not brand new. Jesus, that was a dumb fucking comment.
It was still pretty new,
dude.
But like the content
10 years ago, YouTube was
right.
That's
so the content creation side
You're
wasn't there, right? So there was a lot of money thrown because the market needed content creators and there wasn't enough. So if you made fishing content, you got a shit ton of money thrown at you because there was nothing else there. That has dried up because every swinging fucking dick has a YouTube channel, has Reels, has TikToks, right? And it's hard to set yourself apart, but you got to do it, whatever. But to show, and I really, really, really appreciate just the candor that you've done with this, where it's so honest and kind of raw on it. Because sometimes we do get, everything's good, grass is green over here, and maybe it's really not. And you know what I mean? And everybody thinks, like, don't worry, I'll get picked up by a league and I'll be okay. Well, that doesn't happen all the time. And I just want to say thank you, because we've talked to plenty of folks, and plenty of folks are doing well, right? But you showing some struggles in there, I think, is super important, because we all think well, I can catch fish. I can be like KVD. Well, there's a lot more to it than just catching the fish. It's all the extra shit involved.
You can't catch a fish in a tournament if you can't afford to be at the tournament.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing, too, Will. Hold on real quick. Hey, did you know that Astroglide, any bass boat can run off of that? So you should really look into Astroglide. And I heard that actually the
Makes
Bass
me
and
run
Brews,
fast.
exactly, dude. It's the same thing. You
with
put
four
that thing
with 4 kids, yeah, it sounds like you got a gallon by the bed. One of those you refill the old lotion. You refill the old Dawn dish
hand
soap
soap.
bottle.
It's
You
the
wash it
hand
out real
soap,
good.
yeah. He
Bubbles
doesn't wash it out.
everywhere.
Hold on, he doesn't wash it out real good. He likes it when bubbles get made.
Bubbles.
He's got a
I'm
bubble
popping
dick.
Bubbles over
He's
here.
got a bubble
Oh,
dick.
this is great. You know.
Hey, I feel like what you just said, talking about the local sponsors, is
Yes.
the thing that a lot of people can take to, because as a business owner, and also being in this podcast, like, I always ask myself when it comes for the podcast specifically, when we're talking to somebody that wants a sponsor or something like that, I'm always asking myself, well, what the hell are we going to do for them? And when it comes to fishing with your local sponsors, I feel like a lot of those people like you, they want you to succeed. And so they give you money or they give you something that because they just want to help you out. And to know that you can go to your local sponsors and say, hey, I'll take a kid or two fishing.
Bluetooth connected.
Shut up, Bluetooth.
You
You'll
fucking
take
idiot.
a kid fishing,
Turn it.
or you'll do stuff like that. That this conversation really opens up avenues for some of those local people to be able to, or the anglers to go to their local people and say, hey, I can do some posts on you. If you're working on my rig, I'll drop my boat out in front of your store, with the wrap and my name and stuff like that. But then again, you can say, hey, I'll take a kid fishing. I'll sponsor, if y'all sponsor a Little League team, I'll help sponsor that.
Yeah.
And so that's some great insight from somebody that needs money that way,
Yeah.
to be able to go fish and live your dream. But they're getting something from it, even though it might not be bringing people to their shop, per se.
Well, you can always offer them and say, hey, listen, I'll come park the boat out in front and have a cookout. We'll have a cookout or something. Or, if the company's big enough, hey, the employee of the month, I'll take them out on a guide trip, or I'll take them, not a guide trip, because some of us aren't guides, but we'll take them out.
Right, take them out fishing.
Yeah.
We'll take them fishing for a day or 2 days, whatever, or, something for an incentive for their employees as well. Because then it's not just like it's not a one-way street. It should never be a one-way street. You should never offer a one-way street. It should never be, even if you finish top 10 at every event, you shouldn't go up to a company and say, hey, look how great I am. You should sponsor me. You should there should be a value back to them. They should receive something.
Hey,
also,
Paul. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
But also, whenever you're looking at like the local deals and stuff, and like trying to make deals, if you're in a town and you're trying to do this, you should have a respectable enough name and a relationship with enough people in your community that they already know who you are and will have respect for you already, right? You don't go to like a small company and say, hey, here's what I can do for you, and they have no clue who you are. Right. It's going to be hard. That's just going to be just as tough as getting a big major company to do anything for you. Yeah. You should always strive, and that's something, apart from fishing, just business-wise, you should always strive to make an impact in your community. Always help the community, always be there for things that you can, clean up stuff, Christmas parades, 4th of July stuff, whatever you got going on.
And they're going to want to help you pay, and they're going to give you $1,000 or a couple $1,000 that gets you into that next tournament.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yep.
I got two really. This is like $1 million ideas here, boys. And I'm scared to put this online, but you know what? I love the brewskis. So one, in 2025, we are going to be. Yeah, dude, this is huge. And you made a great point. So you talked about taking people out. So in 2025, we're going to start Paul's Kids. Once a quarter, Paul is going to take somebody out in his kayak. It's not a boat, so you're just going to have to sit in the back of it while Paul fishes and curses the whole fucking time. And maybe sinks because Paul doesn't know how to put the plugs into his kayak. So
It's only happened once.
Oh, you don't know how to put a plug in?
No, he doesn't.
I
mean,
look,
he does with
I
one
had a
kind
tournament.
of plug.
I had a tournament on Saturday, and
And he
to
almost sunk
deploy
that
my
banks.
trolling motor, I have to climb up to the front of my Hobie, and when I do, water rushes into the tube, so I always get a little bit of water in there, and that's fine.
Hold on, did you say you climb up on top of your hobo and then water gets inside of it?
Sure, close
I'm
enough.
so confused. I don't.
Yep, you're not a kayaker, so you wouldn't understand. But just
I have a
picture this.
kayak. My kayak's large.
So is his to fit his fat ass, but he still almost
Anyway.
sunk it.
What size motor do you have on your kayak? Mine's got
It's a Minn Kota 80-pound thrust, so it's heavy. So when I climb up on the front to deploy it, water gets in the tubes. I always have a little bit of water over my boat because I gotta in the morning I gotta climb up there to deploy. Blah blah. So this day, Saturday, I'm fishing and I have like a 4-foot leader on my Carolina rig. Well, the bitch gets caught up in the motor. And the motor's not running right because the hooks kind of it's I can see it and it's anyway, I have to climb up on the front for extra amount of time during the day. I get a shitload of water in my boat. At the end of the day, I'm loading my boat up. I'm on a hill. I'm like, this is a good time to drain it. I never drain my boat at the ramp. I drain it at home because I have a system and I never forget my plugs because the way it sits. Anyway, I drained it there.
Geez.
I go out fishing Sunday. I'm like, did I put the plugs in? And I open up my middle hatch and I look in there. There's a little bit of water in there. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is normal. No, it's not a problem. Well, on the way back, the wind was blowing in my back. And so it was blowing waves into the boat. And I'm about halfway back to the ramp. And it starts to get a little tipsy-topsy. I'm like, motherfucker. So I open up the hatch again. I look in there. That bitch is full of water.
Yep.
So I put the trolling motor on 10, headed towards the bank. Well, before I get to the bank, I gotta put my trolling motor up. So then I have to put more water in there. But luckily I got it there. I got a good little place that had a hill, but it took about 6 minutes to drain all the water out for me to get back in the kayak and go.
That's still quicker than that fucking story. Holy shit, Paul. Like that was just diarrhea of the mouth.
You brought me down.
God,
you brought me down.
bad.
You brought me down this
all right.
path. I'm just saying. Anyway,
so,
we were having
again,
a good conversation on how people can get local sponsors and
you ruined it
really
with like
capitalize on that.
48 minutes of your fucking what could have been like 2-second kayak story. God
was that the
Paul.
Iliad?
No shit. God. So, anyways, in 2025, look out for Paul's Kids, where Paul takes you out, and it's not for kids; it's only for adults.
Adults.
And then, so Paul's not the only one. I just
we're gonna
locked
drink
it up.
6 White Claw surges
Klaus.
each. 6 White Claw surges each before we go back.
Surges.
Yeah, you gotta get them extra ones.
8%
Dang,
alcohol.
boy, that's some high octane units right there.
And then Will, I listened. I reached out as we were on this episode, and in 2025, Bass and Brews is going to be sponsored by Roxy, who's just a local hooker in Atlantic City. But what happens is we will just promote her. You said to be a pillar of the community. I'm just trying to help out a local business. So
you're using the wrong pillar.
Shit.
Roxy's going to be your rap next year.
It's
gonna be boobies all the way around with pasties.
No, but Roxy. So Roxy's actually the name. There was an old HBO special called like AC Hookers, and one of them was named Roxy, and she would just sleep with dudes for like pizza and a pack of Newports, and that was like her deal. So when I remember
Man.
watching it as a kid, and when I first came out here to New Jersey, I was like, I gotta find this fucking lady. I gotta get a pizza. I gotta feed her a pizza. All right. Well, it's been fun and games, Will. It's been amazing. Again, I want to go back to 20 minutes ago. I really thank you for your candor, for your honesty, your transparency. If the league is anything like what you represented tonight, they're going to be extremely successful because you kind of broke down the real part of doing all this. It's not all, sunshine and unicorn farts. Sometimes there's real life shit that can fuck all this up. And I appreciate that. And to the league, again, drop that fucking NPFL. That's dumb. But also, keep doing what you're doing. I think as somebody who doesn't do tournament fishing at all, in the last couple days researching what the league's doing, I really fucking dig it. I think it's cool. I mean, it's not kayaks, but it's fucking cool as shit. It's kind of taken some of the bullshittery that's going on with the other two leagues. So really appreciate that. But we are going to hit. Go ahead, Paul.
One quick thing.
Yeah. Are you sure, or is it like you're fucking?
I don't know. I'm asking a question, so
kayaks.
The quickness is on Willie.
Well,
I'm always quick.
Yeah, they don't call him Quick Willie for no reason.
He's got 3, 1 coming.
He's got
Willie,
2 coming. He's got 2 in the chamber in there.
I was. Now, one is, I guess.
Will, how do you feel about the NPFL change for forward facing?
Oh no, we said we're not going to do this.
We're going to talk about that real quick. I just want to know his opinion.
Here's my deal. Here's my deal on this. All right, I'm not good with forward facing sonar, and times that I've done well, I have not used it, and I knew that I like that Quick Willie. So I knew that I knew that wasn't going to be the deal, and so it made it easier for me to fish, right? Because I wasn't out chasing freaking unicorns out there like some folks do. Now, I'm not saying that everybody does that. I'm not saying everybody with live scope that competes well with live scope can't catch them, because that's far from the truth. There's a lot of guys that can absolutely catch them. And I hope that most of the guys that are using it now stay in the league to show that, because I know they can do it. And everybody, Lord, everybody else knows it, and that's funny. All right. So, but at the same time, I'm really glad you asked this question, because I was hoping that I would get to talk about this. And there's one reason. There's a lot of people that have started fishing in the last 4 years, right? 4 or 5 years, or have started really seriously fishing in the last 4 or 5 years. All they've known is live scope. I was talking to somebody the other night. They bought a boat. The first thing they did was put live scope on it. They catch them, dude. I mean, they catch them, and I get jealous about it. They catch them. But their jealousy towards me is they don't know how to flip. They don't know. They don't know what makes a bank good, or what makes a rock transition good, or makes certain laydowns good. They don't know. And they said that if I didn't have live scope, I wouldn't know how to go catch fish. They said, all I know is I show up, I scan around, find humps, find brush piles. There's fish on them. I try to catch them. They don't bite. I go to the next one. And that to me is what we need to get away from as far as fishing goes competitively. Now, listen, for fun, dude, it's awesome.
Who gives a fuck? Like, you're paying for that on your boat. Who gives a fuck at that point?
My 7-year-old, we went out to a spot that I told him, I said, listen, there's spotted bass all right here. They're going to be on this brush pile. So we go over there, and I was teaching him. He'd throw in, and he'd go too far past the brush pile. I said, dude, just go ahead, reel it in. They ain't going to bite it. And he'd throw too far in front of it. They ain't going to bite it. And so he kept working on it. And he figured it out quick enough. He threw in there, and he sees his bait coming down. He said, Dad, that's perfect right there. And as soon as he cranked that handle right above those fish, they just came up and ate it. Got one, Dad. And I'm
awesome.
It's great. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's not what professionals should be doing.
You know what else is fun? T-ball. T-ball is fun. As a grown-ass adult, Sammy Sosa can walk up there with a fucking ball on the tee and just crank homers all fucking day, right? That's fun. You're right. That's fun. But that shouldn't be the sport.
That shouldn't.
I think that's a great point.
That doesn't separate. That doesn't give a good separation between skill sets.
Yeah,
that gives a good separation between who can read their screen fast enough and make decisions fast. And listen, they're super efficient. The guys that are doing really well with live scope, they're super efficient. They understand what those fish are doing on those things that they're finding. Or some of them, they find roaming fish, and dude, they'll chase them down for half a mile and, just aggravate that fish to bite.
I do the same thing with my wife.
I'm kind of one of those guys that's like, hey, listen, a tournament that we're fishing during the spawn, I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of sight fishing tournaments. Is it fun to catch them whenever they're on bed? Yeah, cool. But I mean, I get
it. I fucking love it, but I don't fish tournaments.
Yeah. Hey, our good buddy Will Lambert, who was on the show a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Him and I talk a good bit, and he messaged me this week, and this is the last forward facing sonar, and we'll get into the shotgun round. But he messaged me as like, if you hate forward facing sonar, but you go jackfish off the bed all day long.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no.
Especially for the people that talk about how it's harming the fishery.
Sure.
When you're over there jacking fish off a bed all day long, and you're worried about harming the fishery with forward facing sonar chasing schoolies in the middle of the lake.
I don't want to jack off fish on sight fishing or jack off fish on the forward facing, I mean, I'm not going to be jacking them off ever,
I've jacked off fish before because that's when we were at the fish hatchery. That's how we sexed them. They were boys or girls. We had to rub their belly and see if it was orange or white.
And that's how you
jacked
catch
off quite a few fish.
And he went. I love that Will went back to like the first 5 minutes on, and that's how you catch trout. Everybody hates a trout fisherman. All right. Well, we're about ready to get to, we've had a good time here, but this is going to be the only part where the brewskis are going to judge you pretty harsh. But before we get there, I want to give you a chance to shout out whoever you'd like, sponsors. I mean, you already did that before. Do you want to put on your, I know for the league, you guys have tank tops instead of jerseys. Did you want to put that on? Or?
Oh, man, tank tops.
Tank tops and cut off blue jean shorts. The league,
listen,
uniform.
I tell you what, man, I like my hoochie daddy shorts, and if y'all stay watching, you'll see. I wear my hoochie daddy shorts. All right, now.
Hell yeah.
And,
all right,
and
so
there
here's
might be some denim ones coming out at this next one. I'm just saying. I ain't saying. I'm just talking. Okay, but for real, if I can shout out several folks, there's been A-Dub. Miss Andrea, she's helped me out a ton, man. I couldn't be here without her. That's the Brutus on my jersey. She made me do it. She said, I want a Buckeye on your boat. And I said, I really don't want that, but I did it, her Mama's Money, everybody knows I'm proudly sponsored by Mama's Money. Daddy wouldn't give me none, but Mama said she would. So, my family is huge in this. They helped me out a ton. Pride Rods, Brazalo Custom Lures. Dude, Brazalo's got some great stuff out right now. That Wee Whacker, I've been catching them on that, dude. Y'all got to check it out. It's a small buzz bait. It's a bead knocker, and you can skip it a mile. You can get a buzz bait in places a buzz bait's never been before. But Jawtech has been a really good friend of mine, and they have taken care of me. Tactical Fishing Company. He's a kayak guy. I'm sure you know.
Shout out to Andrew.
Andrew's the man, dude. And he lets me brainchild with him. We've come up with some colors and stuff that I've been proudly a part of. And he's let me help him on the design too. It bounce stuff, back and forth with me. But he's great. He's very innovative. That's a great company to try out if you're looking for any plastics or frogs, dude. I mean, he just puts a lot of effort into designing stuff. But then, I've got Beechcroft Automotive, Power Implements Marine in Southwest Louisiana. They provided me with that Camus boat, man. I couldn't be more thankful for that. I'm sure I'm going to be missing some folks, but man, anybody that you see on my social media that I'm repping, man, it's because I believe in them. It's not because a bunch of cash deals. Because I promise you right now, the cash deals I have, there's not many of them on my boat. So they didn't want to be. There's some anonymous stuff in there, but the baits that you see on there, I'm using. The rods, Pride rods, man, I use them. That's all I've got. That's all I care to use. Billy Kistler has been a legend in fishing for years and years, and he's still making it happen to this day. So very thankful for all of the companies that I get to represent. Woods to Water Outdoors, great company. We actually are a rep firm as well, so we hook up dealers with the best things that you can get. And man, it's a good ride, and I appreciate everybody that's backing me in it. And hopefully we can keep on rolling going into next season. We've already kind of locked up some stuff, so we will be fishing in 2025, the NPFL. We're going to be fishing the ABT 100s again. And man, just looking forward to keep on fishing,
Heck yeah. And I'm again proud to announce that if you use discount code QuickWillie when you visit Roxy in Atlantic City, you can get one free all-you-can-eat crab buffet, but it's not from the ocean. So
you gotta give her a breadstick, though. Bring a breadstick.
Breadstick.
All right. Shit. Where's my button for this? Is it this one?
Get in here.
Nope, that's the wrong one.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's the wrong one too.
Come on, man, get it together.
All right, everybody.
It's time.
Boys and girls, let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go today. Woo! It only takes one.
All right. As we said, the Brewskis are a wonderful group of folks, but they can be fickle. We are going to ask you a rapid-fire set of questions. We need you to just answer the question. We don't need an explanation on your answer unless we ask for it. And yeah, this is either going to take you to the highest highs to become a serious angler or to the darkest waters. Quick Willie, powered by Astroglide. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Crocs or flops?
Flops.
All right. You're going to spend more on a rod or on a reel?
Rod.
Yeah, he said that because of Pride rods. Is it going to be is it going to be Texas rig or wacky rig?
Texas.
Okay. Paul, are you alive over there? You reading a book? Or are you sleeping? Okay, making sure.
I was trying to find something. I'm listening. I'm here.
All right, making sure.
I'm here.
Finesse or power fishing?
Power.
Everybody says that one, except for the smallmouth guys. You're on your way to the water. Is it hype music or is it slow jams?
Hype.
It's hype. And what does hype music mean to you?
Rat. Prof.
Like prof? Oh, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Prof.
I have no
So
idea
amazing.
who that is, so y'all.
Yes, you do.
geek out
He's
on
the
that.
guy that is on the Bass and Brews TikTok story every single day. Because I do nothing but repost his shit because he's a fisherman. He's from Minnesota and he's fucking dope as shit. So, yeah. You don't know who that is, Paul, at all? He's like the weird looking white dude that I post on our TikTok story.
I am that dude.
It's so good.
No idea.
Hey, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yes. There it is.
Can tell he's from Louisiana. You don't know good pizza.
You said
Hey,
Aldi
listen,
pizza. Shut
hey,
up.
hold on a second now. Time out on the speed round.
Okay.
Does fruit not belong on pizza?
It does. One, it
You know,
does.
okay,
It's so
Paul, let me
delicious.
ask you a
Sweet and
question.
salty.
Let me ask you a
Sweet and
question.
salty.
You like sauce on your pizza?
We're not getting into semantics
Oh,
with
because the
tomatoes.
tomato be a fruit dog.
That's just a
You put
vegetable.
fruit sauce on your pizza, man.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah,
You
Paul.
lose. All right,
You lose.
resume.
Go ahead, Paul. You answer. You ask some.
I don't think you forgot one tonight.
I
so don't
have
anything.
not yet. All right. Hey, Will, you ever eaten beaver?
Often.
Often? How do you prepare it?
Like my sushi.
Raw.
What's that?
Raw,
Fuck. Damn, did we already go through? Did I already go through them all?
Do you eat
Paul?
largemouth bass?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely eat largemouth bass, yes.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. How do you
Somebody
prepare
from
that?
Louisiana
Raw?
is eating largemouth bass,
Deep
and
fried.
they are proud about it.
Deep fried.
Deep fried. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, say the word SALMON for me.
Salmon.
That's the correct answer.
Salmon.
Good job. No, get the fucking L out of
Salmon.
there. Yeah. If this guy's from
You know what?
Louisiana and Tennessee and can still figure out how to say it right, I think you're in the
You
wrong.
want me to
here,
say
Paul.
it? You want me to say it like my family would say it?
Salmon.
That's salmon.
Yeah.
That boy got that salmon on that.
Look, we were here first, so that's all I'm
But
saying.
salmon wasn't here first.
I mean, like barely. Like
The
Daniels
country
were there,
people
like, pretty
found
quick.
salmon first. The
Country
salmon.
people found salmon in the back ponds of South Carolina.
Salmon.
All right. Well, every great angler loves a good sandwich. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Oh gosh. Sandwich proteins,
That's it.
peanut butter.
Okay, my man.
You're gonna go with turkey,
Yep.
and then it's kind of a toss-up between chicken and ham, depending on
Got to choose one. Nope, got
how
to choose
it's
one.
prepared.
It doesn't
Choose
matter. You got to
one.
pick one. Quit being a politician about it. Pick one. Real Sophie's choice.
We'll go chicken.
There it is. Listen, ham, I think I'm on the full side of ham is overrated. That bitch gets slimy when it's sitting in that cooler or whatever you got where you're storing that sandwich while you're fishing. Fuck that. You do chicken,
Now,
you do poultry.
if it's like a Black Forest ham,
Sure. But that's good fresh. I don't think that's
but
good
like
in the cooler.
Look, I hope y'all ain't eating no boar's
head.
head.
Tastes like salt. I ain't
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it.
No, I don't
Yeah,
fuck with
You
that.
eating boar's head deli meat
Yeah.
right now, you're shitting off the back of your boat.
All right, Paul, let's be honest. Most of our audience is eating fucking boar's head. They're that dumb. Like, if they listen to us, they're eating
Or are
boar's
you
head.
saying they're that wealthy? Because boar's head's expensive as fuck. You can be paying like $14,
I eat
$15,
boar's head,
$16
man. What
a
are you
pound.
talking about?
Yeah,
That
God,
shit's
see, you
got
rich.
listeria
You're rich. You're
all
richer
over
than
the
what
place.
you said
It
this whole
doesn't
podcast.
listen. It doesn't matter if it has listeria. If you're immune to it, it's fine. It's like they
If
say
you're-
you can't drink the water.
You can't be
in Mexico
immune to the
because
listeria,
you're not
Hoss.
used to the water.
You're
in
getting the
Mexico.
shits.
No,
You're
dude.
either
No,
oopsing and
no.
poopsing or
If your
Regulars.
inside is so bad the listeria can't take hold and you just piss it out, it's done. No
It's
problem.
built to callus.
It's built. Your asshole has a callus. Got you.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody.
do
It's,
not take eating shitty
No.
deli meat. PSA. Eating shitty deli meat is not a Bass and Brews recommended lunch meat. But anyway.
All right, we'll hang out for a minute. Everybody, make sure you go to patreon.com/Bass and Brews, and we'll see you on the next one. Fuckers.
Hee-haw, 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 hee-haw.